Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to do a different type of video. I don't often do just straight up chatty talking to the camera videos, but lately when I have been posting more talkative segments in my videos, people have really been enjoying it. So I have been trying to brainstorm some ideas for videos that would be more just like talking with you guys and sharing things that I think are important or things that are important to me, and hopefully providing some good, insightful information, or at least getting to know a little bit more about me. But one thing that I do kind of get comments on with some regularity and things that I face just in my daily life as a person is the issue of confidence, especially as a plus size woman. Now, this is a really complex, nuanced topic, and there's no one answer for how to be a confident person in your own body, especially when you are in a marginalized body type. But I definitely have some things that I have in my toolkit that I feel like are consistently beneficial to me as someone who does go out and exist in a plus size body and also puts myself online, which can be very vulnerable. So I'm hoping to share some of those things with you guys and just kind of talk about the plus size experience. And even if you're not a plus size person, even if you are straight size and you just feel like you're not the most confident being that you could be, I hope that this video gives some sort of, I guess, some camaraderie and also some encouragement, because it is not an unachievable thing to exist confidently in your body exactly as you exist now, and stop literally wasting your time being worried about what other people are thinking. And I do want to say that there are some things that we'll talk about that I think will be a little bit, I don't want to say controversial, but just like this is a very sensitive subject for a lot of people. And I think we're made to feel that way in a society where we are encouraged to constantly be consumers. And the best way to get us to consume and purchase is to make us feel like we are lacking in some way. If this product will fix me, then I'm going to buy it, even if that problem was never actually a problem to begin with. One of my favorite examples of that specific thing is the product. I've seen it on TikTok a few times and it just would irritate me so much. But there's like this powder that you can buy and you can put on your face to show you basically all the hair that's on your face, especially like women obviously have like peach fuzz and stuff. Like, we're humans, right? We have body hair. But this powder was designed to show you all the hair so that you could microblade it off of your face when you wouldn't be able to really see the hair had you not put the powder on, right? So what was the point of that? And I feel like people were like, well, it helps your product, your face, like your skincare and your makeup sit better and closer to your skin. I just don't buy it. I just don't buy it. Your body hair grows out of your body for a purpose, for a reason. It's a natural thing. It's not a problem, but you're made to feel like it is. So anyways, let's talk a little bit just about some of my like favorite ways to feel more confident and kind of deep dive into hopefully some ways that you can also adapt these things. All right, the first one, I don't want to overwhelm, so I tried to keep it simple and streamlined. There's 3 things I'm going to share. And the first one is easy, and that is to choose a signature thing. Choose something that you love that you can kind of keep coming back to as like this signature part of your look or how you present yourself when you're out and about or just existing. Some of my favorite things are consistently always a bright lip. I love wearing bright lipstick. And I remember being in my early adulthood, in my early 20s, literally thinking that if I wore bright colored lipstick, people on the street would be like, who the hell does she think she is? And that's psychotic, because most of us are just going about our day thinking about our own crap, right? Like, none of us are really hyper fixated that long on any one stranger's appearance. Even if you do something does pop into your brain, it's not something you often like ruminate on for more than a minuscule amount of time. Like, people just don't really pay attention to us as much as we think that we do, or they do, because we're the center of our own universe. So all that to say, I love wearing a bright signature lip color. I feel like that's come across, that's in my videos a lot. And one of the reasons I do, and what gave me the courage to do it consistently, was I attended a floral conference way back in like 2019, and I was vaguely like acquaintances with the girl who ran the conference, and she knew who I was, and she always had the most like beautiful bright red lipstick on. And she told me that she always wore bright lipstick because when she was at these big events in these big like hotel ballroom, like huge spaces, if she had lipstick on, someone across the room could see her smiling at them because it just makes your mouth more pronounced. And I have never let that go. I have consistently thought back to that story in that moment and been like, that makes so much sense. It's such a cute, sweet reason for doing something, to make sure someone can see you from across the room, acknowledging them and smiling at them. And I just never lost that story. It was such a significant moment. And I did start wearing lipstick way more consistently after that. And now I have a constant rotation of lipsticks. And I feel really put together and really on my game, if you will, when I have a bright lipstick. Other things could be a signature piece of jewelry or perfume. I'm definitely on a perfume journey right now and enjoying new scents and trying new things, because I think that smelling good is just one of those things that when someone compliments you on smelling nice, I just am on like cloud nine. I love it when people like can recognize or can compliment my perfume. So that's another thing that's a good like just confidence booster. But it really can be anything. It can be a makeup look. It can be a piece of jewelry. It can be a scent. It can be a nail polish color. It could be a color. Like maybe your signature color is pink, like in Steel Magnolias, and they're blush and bashful or whatever. But you know, I feel like most of us, hopefully all of us, have something where when we wear it, when we know that we are feeling ourselves and how we look, there's something that is like a contributing factor to that. Like, yes, maybe it's just because your hair laid right that day or whatever, but I hope that there's something you can think of like, okay, you know what? I feel fantastic when I wear that. I feel great when I'm in my favorite color. And just kind of reach for that as a consistent thing in your toolbox when you want to feel confident. I know that putting on a bright lip and my current favorite perfume is going to make me feel 10 times more pulled together than without it. And that's an easy go-to reach to feel more confident on a daily basis. My second tip for more confidence is to follow people online that don't make you feel like crap about yourselves. I feel like there is this very real line between aspirational content and content that is really designed to, again, make you feel like you're lacking so that people can sell you stuff. Obviously, I am not a big influencer by any means. I have a very small audience, but even so, I try really hard to not make my content about just buying stuff. Like, yes, I do. I like going to the thrift store and I like the hunt, and sometimes I'll do clothing hauls, but most of the time they're like thrifted clothing, or it's not very often. It's really more about just like adding things into my life that I enjoy and that I love. So I do have some stuff, like we all have some stuff, and I want to curate it to make sure that it's all stuff that I love. But for the most part, my content is not about going out to buy stuff. It's about having experiences and like enjoying my life. So when you are online and you're scrolling Instagram or TikTok, are the people that you're following really making you feel good about your life or hopeful? Or are they just constantly making you feel like, oh, I need to lose X amount of pounds. I need to get that product. I need to make my home look this way, or I'm not going to be as happy as that person appears to be. Because I'll tell you what, and it's not a secret, I'm not saying anything revolutionary, but social media is the best, most curated version of every person's life. Even the people that try to keep it real and that try to post their true experience, you are getting an edited version by default. There's no way around it because none of us are living a Truman Show experience where we're putting everything online organically and not even knowing about it. Like, people do curate themselves, and it's hard to compartmentalize that and think about what that really means and basically take yourself apart from social media presence to real life people. I still feel we'll see some people and be like, man, they really must have their life together. They look like they have a great relationship. They always look nice. They always look beautiful. Their home is lovely. And you do kind of end up feeling a little bit like, why doesn't my life look like that? And it's so unhelpful for the most part. I want to follow people that inspire me, that make me feel creative, that make things feel accessible, that is not constantly pushing me to buy something. So next time you're scrolling, or if you want to sit down and do a little bit of a digital detox, really think about who you're following, and are those people making you feel great, or are they making you feel like you're lacking in some way? In the same vein, as a plus size person, it has been so helpful to follow other plus size people. The more you see your body type represented, the more you know that you are not alone. Because I feel like existing in a plus size body can be very isolating sometimes if you don't often see your body type represented. And we've come a long way, and I do want to acknowledge that, like, you know, we do have plus size, more options in stores, not as many as there should be, but more. And we do have like more plus size representation. Again, not as much as there should be, but we do have more. So I do want to acknowledge that we have come further than what we were in the early 2000s and late 90s, where literally heroin chic was the body ideal type. What? Really making a conscious effort to find plus size creators that are inspiring to you, that you think that they're doing a great job, that they have a style that you like. Follow those people. See plus size people living how you want to live. I think that is so important, and it really changed my perspective. I no longer see a plus size person as like an anomaly if they have a beautiful life. Like, to me now, that's kind of a standard because I follow a lot of plus size creators, and I will go ahead and put up some of my favorites if you want a good place to start. I will link down in the description some of my absolute favorites that just make me feel like, okay, yeah, like, let's do it. And just wrapping up that number 2 is, I just again want to stress that a lot of people are on these internets with the sole intention of selling you something. So realizing that no one product is going to change your life and make you into your dream person. And you don't have to buy everything. You don't have to be in the trend cycle, or if something, it really doesn't truly speak to you, then skip it. Like, it's just not worth the wasted money. And the way we burn through trends, it's I feel like this is a whole nother video, but it is literally pointless. A lot of times the clothing is poorly made, it's poorly constructed, it's cheap material, it's not made ethically at all, and you're spending your money on this for it to be literally out of trend in a month or two. That is something where I definitely encourage you to feel good about your own style, and style is something kind of intrinsic, and it's not, there's a difference between style and trendy. Trendy is constant consumption, in my personal opinion. I think having a style is something that, like, yes, you can include some of those like trendy things as they come and go, or as like you like them, but you like them because they actually fit into your style. And your style is something that is generally consistent, whether you like more of the clean, modern basics look. I like a lot of color. I do a lot of color blocking. I like bigger, chunky patterns, like kind of really fine-tuning and thinking about the style that you love. Not that it has to be a box and that you can never step foot outside of it, but I feel like it really helps kind of clear the air as far as like the constant bombardment of trends and micro trends and clothing and all of this stuff that we're consistently expected to incorporate into our wardrobes. Down the road, if we like this type of video more, I might do a style versus trend deep dive because I have opinions on that too. Okay, and number three, which I feel like is the most important one, and it's really a mindset shift. It's a paradigm shift, because everything that we have learned, especially in Western society, in America, is that you can buy a product that'll change your life, that'll make you happy, that will fix problems that are kind of internal. And that's just not how it works. Man, it would be easy if it was, but it's just not. So my number three confidence tip is to really understand and realize that the game is rigged. The game is rigged, and there's really no point in playing into it. You might as well enjoy your life exactly as you exist right now. I understand that this sounds almost defeatist. There's no point. Why even try? And that's not what I mean. What I mean is that there will always be something that someone can tell you is wrong with you. And if that's the truth, and that's always going to be the case, where you can never achieve this ideal status, what's the point in playing that game? You're a hamster on a wheel at that point in time. And it makes me think of this specific story with a former boss of mine at a hotel I used to work at. And she was a beautiful, probably in her 50s, like late 40s, early 50s, but she was gorgeous. And she was thin and she had a great style. Like, she always looked really well put together. She was no nonsense. She did not take anyone's crap, but it was also at the same time very kind, just a great all around boss. But she would often talk about how she never wore short sleeves because of her arms. She didn't wear skirts because she had some spider veins on her legs. And I was like, ma'am, you are well into middle age. You are in your 50s, and you are still concerned about this. What a waste of time. Never once have I looked at someone and been like, oh wow, her arms. And I'm not saying that no one does that, but who cares? Who cares about your arms? I don't. And especially, like, we were working in a historical inn with like no air conditioner. Well, it had air conditioner, but this is a really old building and it gets hot in the summer. Wear a skirt. Wear the sleeveless nice work blouse. Like, I just was so shocked that someone who had lived so much life already was still so concerned about spider veins on her legs or her arms not being perfectly toned. And there was another woman who worked in the same office, and she kind of joined in on that conversation, saying how when she was a kid, she had a short haircut and her mom called her, or someone in her life called her, like a pumpkin head. And so she never wore that hairstyle again. Number one, that is really a testament to how other people's words can be so damaging and so hurtful. I still have things that people said to me in high school and even as a kid that still rattle around in my brain from time to time, because to that person who said it to me, it was just some random Tuesday. And to me, it was like this cornerstone of my life where I was like, oh, that was a moment. That was a defining moment for me. So I feel like just kind of recognizing that your words do have impact. And impact for what? Like, what was the point of those things that were said to her or to me or to anybody when it doesn't really matter? Go out, wear the tank top, wear the skirt. Like, do you feel good in it? If you existed outside of this moment where you were made to realize that your body was lacking in some way, like, would you wear it? Do you like it? Do you like that clothing on you? Does it feel good? Like, wear it. There's just no point in playing into this cyclical game where you cannot win. I have developed I've unpacked, I guess, a lot of this kind of like, I'm going to say it, of this trauma as growing up as a fat girl in the late 90s and early 2000s. I think a lot of damage was done to a lot of people in the pursuit of thinness. And I often wonder, like, would I be how I am now if I hadn't been consistently thinking about like dieting and that kind of stuff when I was literally in middle school? Like, what if I had been able to focus my energies into other things? And I feel very lucky that I've gone through things in my life that have allowed me to unpack a lot of this like internalized dislike. But it has been a process. Like, when I got divorced and I moved to New England, I was fully convinced that I was going to be single forever and that no one was really interested in my body type. And we are kind of getting down into a different conversation, but that just wasn't the case. And this whole world kind of opened up to me where it was like, oh, not only can I feel like really good about myself, but I also can be viewed as like very desirable, as someone's preference. And I don't want to say that as like validation from the opposite sex or from, you know, your desired partner type is like the be all end all, but it did help me to understand that everyone is somebody's type and that there is no one body type or style or makeup look or hairstyle that is going to make me the perfect choice for someone. Someone out there loves me and prefers the way I look over anything else, which is great. I don't know how much this is going to stay. I don't really need to get into the nuances of plus size dating at this moment. If you want that video, let me know. This is a topic that I am passionate about. I feel very strongly about reaching out to people, especially women, about how they feel about themselves on a daily basis as just a woman in general. Plus size people, yes, because that is my lived experience, but really anybody. Like I said, the game is rigged against you, and there's freedom in knowing that. There's freedom in knowing that you can't win, so you might as well just live your life and find the ways to enjoy it and enjoy the little luxuries and the signature things and, you know, being okay with it. It's not a perfect process. It's a messy process. It's an up and down process. It's a back and forth process, but it is something that is totally achievable and that is worth the work of unpacking things and being around more people that look like you and you know, represent things that you find important, as opposed to just one narrative that is fed to you no matter what. I hope you enjoyed this video. I obviously get a lot of joy out of talking about this kind of stuff. I have some other chatty storytime chat with me videos that I would like to share. Definitely tackling a having style versus being trendy topic I think would be fun. Maybe something about, I don't know. If you have a topic that you think you would like to chat about, anything that I am typically involved around, that is style, that is home design and moving across the country, I feel like actually that would be a fun like series, is kind of like coming into your own and finding, kind of building the life that you want, even though I'm still very much in the process of that. But I think that's something that a lot of us are kind of constantly having like in the back of our mind, is this like, oh, I want my life to look like this. I want my Pinterest boards to be real or whatever. So kind of like the process of that. Anyways, all that to say, if you have a video idea or suggestion for a chatty story time, whatever, leave it down in the comments below. If you want more day in the life, behind the scenes, fun stuff, follow me over on Instagram or TikTok at Meg is Pretty Cool. I post a lot more like quick content and off the cuff stuff over there, and I'd love to have you. And I super appreciate if you made it to the end of this video. I super appreciate you, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.